the last chapter of 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Stephen R. Covey has told us 4 dimensions of a personality: physical, mental, social, and spiritual. Physical dimension is about our food, nutrition, and exercise. Mental dimension is about reading and visualization. Spiritual dimension is about prayers and meditation. And social dimension is about empathy and service. Fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, while writing this speech, writing my Icebreaker speech, I was thinking, is there anything worth sharing about me at this platform? I thought nothing. After a great brainstorming and mind mapping, there was an avalanche of thoughts and memories. Memories of my childhood, thoughts of my achievement and my failures, thoughts of my adventures, memories of my matriculation and graduation. There was an avalanche about my interests and hobbies. So I thought that it's an uphill task to cover all these details within 700 words in 7 minutes. So I decided to just share my interests and hobbies at this platform. And why I'm here at this Toastmasters Club. Fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, at this age of 47 years, I've always been under 67 kg. It's partly because of the God-gifted genetics and partly because of my little efforts about my food and exercise. Regarding food, there is a saying, don't live for eating, rather eat for living. So, I'm not a foodie guy. It is worth mentioning and interesting about me that it's enough food for me if someone talks a lot about food. So it will be okay for me. I don't need any more food. So there is, on the other hand, I'm very much interested in walking, running, jogging, hiking, and exercise. I would walk about 3 to 4 rounds in Racecourse Park in Lahore, and one round is about 2,800 meters, almost 3 kilometers, yes. So it would be 9 to 12 kilometers daily. It was my routine, and it still continues. Fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, exercise not only gives me happiness, but there is a rush of dopamine. And dopamine gives us improves our focus, concentration, positive thinking, and a feeling of happiness. Fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, here in Islamabad, I've developed another interest, and that interest is hiking. I regularly go for hiking to Trail 3 and Trail 5 on alternate weekends. And our recent trip to Toastmasters to Mushpuri Top with the Toastmasters family was a memorable experience. Getting together at Markaz, sitting in the bus, departure, singing, snacking, poetry competition, teaming, gaming, and meeting with Raja Sahib was a memorable experience. So, hiking always gives us a great pleasure. Fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, There is another interest which I would like to share here at this platform. That's reading books. Reading always gives pleasure. I had the privilege to read 4 magazines, children magazines in my childhood. Talim Tarbiyat, Aankh Macholi, Nonehal, Food. Most of you must have gone through these magazine in your own childhood. So it was a pleasure to read all those stories. Stories of humor, stories of mystery, stories of history, comics, and and many more. So, and in my school days, I read Mustansar's travelogues. Travelogues, those were very interesting. So, my favorite travelogues were निकले तेरी तलाश में, खाना बदोश, हुंजा दास्तान, नांगा पर्वत, रति गली, उंदलस में अजनबी. So I read all these stories maybe in 9th, 10th classes. There is another, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, there is another saying in English, all work, no play, makes Jack a dull boy. So I've never been a dull boy. I've always been interested in sports and games. And most of those games are cricket, hockey, football, lawn tennis, some for playing and some for watching. So I still remember that the glory of hockey, Pakistan's hockey team. I watched hockey matches on black and white screens, and it was quite difficult to locate the white ball on black and white screen. So I still remember that adventure, but we were very much attached with the hockey team. Pakistan won Hockey World Cup in 1994. So it was an interesting game at that time. Then there is the squash. Jahangir Khan was a great player. Victory of Jahangir Khan was no news. But his defeat by Ross Norman of the Netherlands in 1986 was a great news, was a great shocking news. Alongside this, in 1992 World Cup, Pakistan won the Cricket World Cup. So these are my interests in sports. Then I'm going to explain that why I'm here. As Ibrar Wani Sahab has frequently advised us, be at the stage to embarrass yourself. I'm here to embrace myself, and I'm quite confident that I will be a great communicator, a great public speaker, and a presenter. Inshallah. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
It really is inspirational that how somebody can sit down and craft a speech that is not less than a jewel. And not only to craft that speech and present it in such an emphatic fashion that truly serve the purpose of this segment. That is prepared speech. So it was truly a prepared speech. So I have a 3-letter word for you, Toastmaster Ishaq, and that is written on the board. Wow. After listening to your speech, I was simply like, wow. This is how a prepared speech should be prepared and presented in front of the audience. Let me break down your evaluation into 2 parts. I'll first talk about the content. This speech had everything. You have mentioned that you were at the crossroad, not sure what to write. and how to write when you look at the project objectives. So it was an excellent idea that you decided to take everyone through that journey, that how you have felt and presented in front of everyone. So thank you for taking us to that ride. And the other factors you have mentioned, the books, Nonehal, Talim o Tarbiyat, playing and watching games. So that was full of content. Now, let's move on to the delivery part. Delivery, everywhere in Toastmaster, when you go, you will listen that you have to utilize the stage. And how beautifully you have utilized it today. I mean, you were standing there at one point, you were standing in the center, you were standing going at that side, and presenting your speech. It was an excellent job from your side. So let's move on to the areas of development. Now, one area of development that I would like to share as a suggestion to you. You have mentioned four directions at the beginning of your speech that were like physical, mental, spiritual, social. So it would be a lot better if you have attached those events that you have discussed during your speech with every direction at the beginning. Like you have mentioned physical at the first, then you could have attached like hiking and dopamine things that you discussed in during your speech. So in this way your speech could have a lot of more symmetry in it. So this would have been a lot better. And the one thing more is about when you move onto the stage, try to stay connected to the audience. Don't disconnect yourself by looking at the other side. So this is one suggestion from from my side. So overall, it was a very beautiful speech. So and I really felt it like a dose of dopamine when I was like listening to that speech. And you with the areas of improvement you could improve. And I definitely assure you that you have all the ingredients to become a better speaker. Thank you.